It wasn't no intro.
What's
Yes, sir.
up?
What's going on?
What is up, everyone?
What's up?
Live from the hotel. Let me see if I can get us a little intro so everybody can get themselves ready, man. We need an intro. Yo, what's up? What's up?
What's going on?
What is happening? Live from the Hoot Nanny. I'm down here, boys. I made it. I made it. It's amazing. Me and my boy John, we are here. Power Mad, what's up? Sim Racer's Edge, what's happening? What's going on? Gentlemen,
What's happening?
how was everyone?
Hello, hello, hello.
Uh,
All right, so if you were wondering, Anthony is traveling right now, but he's a trooper. He's in there. Um, the other guys are at home. I'm coming to you live from the hotel in Warner Robins, Georgia. That's where I am. What up, Ken? What's happening?
Yeah.
Don't forget, guys, put your name out there. If you got so, let me go ahead and see if I can clear that up for you guys. What's going on is if you have your privacy settings on, we can't see your name. It comes up as Facebook Racer. I mean Facebook
User.
user. I said racer. I'm crazy. Facebook user is what it coming up as. So B, what's up? If you have that on, you want to turn it off, you can. If not, we totally get it.
what's
So,
up, fellas?
all right. So tonight, guys, we got a good one for you. Oh my goodness, we got a good one for you. Um, right now, Gary is coming on. Did Gary design the Exotech chassis? Let's just bring him on and he can tell us. But we got Gary on the show tonight, and he's gonna talk to us about his chassis. Here we go.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What up?
Hey,
What's going on, Gary?
Come on, Gary.
Boy, it's a call. I'm here at the track making. Boy, the car is just—it's incredible right off the trailer. I think I want to say I think right now I'm the quickest with the car on the 40-degree track test. It's cold out there. I'm actually at the track going to a hotel later. But yeah, really happy with the car. I wanted to clear up a few things. I did not design the car. The car is
Okay.
Exotech design car. Um, what uh, where I think some things kind of cross over is I actually had a very, very similar design for a car. I mean, really, really close. Exotech released it. I actually called them and I said, hey, uh, I really like what you did. I like the idea that you went with the car. It fits in line with everything that I was going to do. And like, these were my drawings and my design and things like that. And when I tell you it was close, it was close. I mean, I made a joke that I think that, someone had, left spy cameras in my work. It really was that close. But clear the air, 100% disclosure. This is 100% their design. I am excited about maybe some of our engineering influence. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm just going to put this out there. RC for me is a business, but it's not my primary business. My primary business is in automotive engineering, especially in powertrain development. So what we do is we have a private engineering company that does development in motorsports. So I've worked with, Ferrari, Porsche, Audi, Honda, Acura, Lamborghini, you name it. We've been everywhere. I've been super fortunate. I got to tell you, God has blessed me, truly blessed me, and why I'm actually so excited about trying to get back. But we, have just been fortunate. We've won races like the Indy 500, the Le Mans 24, the Daytona, all the big ones. And this is a 40-year, almost a 40-year career for me. I actually started my company when I was in high school. I incorporated. I've actually only worked myself since. So I'm very fortunate with that. And
Hold on, Gary. You're breaking up. You're breaking up a lot. It's like going in and out. Can you like turn the volume down and pick the mic up a little bit? Because you're going in and out.
all right, let's see what we can do. Is
Oh,
that
that's a lot better. That's a lot better.
okay? I need to just adjust this a little bit, guys. Bear with me a little bit. I'm trying to make it so that I'm not holding this device the whole time.
Okay.
How about now? Is that still okay, or is that?
Yeah, that's working. That's
Much
coming
better.
through. Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to just balance my my phone. Anyway, what was the last thing you guys understood?
That you were, you were developing like drivetrain.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, my primary business, I actually incorporated when I was in high school. I've only worked for myself. I've been fortunate that over the years I've had the luxury to work with the top auto manufacturers and in their powertrain development, which included hybrid electric drive, which is why I love RC cars so much. Plus, I've had RC cars since God, the '80s, right? Like a lot of you guys, probably started out with a Tamiya or a Kyosho or the original RC10, had something fun. But I got to say that I've been blessed. I've been really blessed with good fortune in my life, and we've had a lot of success in motorsports, winning all the top races in the world, traveling the world, and I'm actually very passionate about returning to a different community, which is this RC community. And when Exotech came out with this car, and it was so in line with what I would have done that I just reached out to him. I said, "Hey guys, listen, this is what I'm about. Blah blah blah. I really would like to spearhead working with you guys on this car because I just really appreciate the depths that they went with the car. And like I said, from an engineering standpoint, it's actually very much in line with what you would do if you were a race car designer. So there's a lot of things in there that are, I mean, it's exactly what you would do. I think maybe, short of the fact that we're trying to sell it for under $1 million, it's not really that much you could cram into it, without driving the price up ridiculously.
Okay. So I understand you're at the track. I'm at the hotel. And you said, did you get any times today? Is the tree on?
Yeah, the tree is on. I would say I just ran a 193 something. The track is really cold. Most people are in the 2.2s, 2.1s. I clipped off a lot of 2.0s, and in full disclosure, I clipped off 193, but I crossed. The other lane took my time, but I was the one that said it. But it's cold. It's really cold. We're trying to, figure out where we're going to be if we have to race in this condition. So that's it. But in terms of what we're getting right now out of the track, I think a 2.0 is your fast time. There's a couple guys out here that are 2.0, 2.05, things like that. So for 40, I think it's like 42 degrees on the surface, pretty cold, and
Yeah.
there. So we're all kind of turned down, but pretty challenging. I'm excited to be here. I think it's going to be a great event. And I personally love the challenge of this. I think that this is a tuner's game. I think that this is a real tuner's game.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right. So let's just dive in. I know everyone has some questions. I will let the panel ask their questions first. I'm gonna start with Anthony, then work our way around.
all right, great.
Anthony, you there?
I think he froze up.
Yeah, I think he just froze. Okay. Anthony, we'll come back to you.
Well,
I think he's still trying. Johnny, go ahead with yours. You got a question?
I guess other than we were debating the other night, that car comes in two different forms, right?
it comes with everything in the box.
So you've got hinge pins and the ball
Yes.
stud.
Yeah. Pillow balls.
Okay, I tried to look at the chassis to see. I couldn't really see it. I have to put my hands on one to be able to look at it.
I have a control arm right here. I'm going to try to show you. The way it works is there's little cups, and the balls sit in the cup, and then they have adapters that basically take this vertical kind of mount, and they're just tiny little hinge pins, and they go in there. If you hang on a second, I have maybe a one with pieces in it.
Yeah, I got some pictures too.
Okay, so here's one. Can you guys see this? Okay. So here's the ball. Okay, if you can see that, here's the ball, and it just sits in a cup. So the way it works is this is 7mm hex. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up, and you just keep talking so they can see if they can get a closer look at it.
Okay. So there you go. All that is in the picture is essentially just an adapter.
I don't know.
Or
It
just
might be me breaking up. I don't know.
All that is just a different piece that changes these little pillow balls to that pin.
Right. So the pin coming across. Okay. So just to add to Johnny's question, and I know that there's a situation with the car being allowed in the NPRC. From your perspective, like what's the reasoning for that? Now I hear them say it has to have outer and inner hinge pins. Now again, I have not actually seen the car, put the car in my hand. So if you could
I'll show you tomorrow. But that's
okay.
tomorrow, and we're here today. Well, let's guys, let's talk about maybe a couple things, right?
Okay.
First, let's agree. Let's look to agree that whoever is at NPRC or whatever, right? This thing, they are not holding any races. Is that correct? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Right? You guys hold your own races over there, right?
Correct.
Right. You guys hold your own races. Are you mandated by some committee? Are you mandated to follow their rule set exactly as they? Actually, I'm going to stop.
No.
Because it's not a rule set. If you look very closely and you think about it and what they say, it's actually a suggestion. And the problem with a suggestion is a suggestion means it's your decision. And here's my issue, is that they do not hold any events. They don't sanction any events. We have some people, all right, that for the most part remain faithless. All right, I think we're going to meet some of them tonight, and that we'll talk about that. But for the most part, guys, I think we can agree. Well, I don't even say we can agree. It is a fact that everything that they say is a suggestion. As a matter of fact, we can go back to 2019. I actually have the screenshot from 2019. Tim Smith. I think we can agree Tim Smith is the one that maybe. Well, I don't care what people think or don't think of him. That idea. But I think we can agree that he was the one with maybe a few other people that brought this idea out, right? Because before that, we were racing like these pan car type drag RC cars, right?
Right.
So if you look at Tim Smith's original suggestion, and he calls it a suggestion, it never said anything about hinge pins. It never even said, as a matter of fact, he, in his original suggestion, he wants local clubs. As a matter of fact, I have it. Maybe I can send it to one of you guys. If someone sends me a little messenger, I can attach it. But what Tim Smith said in 2019 is, hey, guys, here's a suggestion, okay? Rear wheel, two-wheel drive, short course based, rubber tire, no traction compound. He specifically says no VHT, nothing that leaves. And he said, this is a suggestion, and verbatim, go out and start your own club, all right? This was the foundation for what we call no prep drag racing. Now, if you look at it as a suggestion, exactly what is he saying? He's saying, hey, guys, this is what we're doing. It's kind of working. It's just a suggestion to get your club up and running. That's his exact words. It's just a suggestion to get your club up and running. And at no point does he ever mention it needs to be this, it needs to be that, it needs to be. Matter of fact, things that he does mention is no traction compound. Well, we're way past that. And I'm not going to argue the merit of it or not, because I actually think that part of what we do as racers is evolve, right? We're going to look at a problem and we're going to come up with a solution. Now, let's go back to why I'm a big history buff. And I love history. So let's look at why do we even start using prep in the first place? You guys even know? Does anyone have an idea why we started using it?
I'm going to say because the mid-motor car came around. And then
we started using prep because the only tire we had was a reaction. If you think about it, what did we have? I know because I actually just did this today. The very first King of the Streets, 2021. Streets, okay?
2020
was won by Clay Keats, if I'm correct, right? Clay Keats.
That is correct. Yep.
Right? And it was the runner-up.
That's the second one. That was the second one.
The second one was Clay Keats.
Jacob Leader,
Clay Keats. That was the second one.
Yeah, the first one was Ricky from. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, never mind. My apologies.
And no, it was Jacob Leader.
But we had Jacob Leader, Clay Keats, right?
Yes.
And at the time, we had a mix of people running reactions, and the next most popular tire was the DE Street Outlaw. You guys remember those tires?
Yep.
DE Street Outlaw, non-belted tire, things like that. So the only tire we had was this rock hard reaction, and it was god awful terrible. Let's face it, it was god awful terrible. The only thing that was good about it is it didn't expand. Right, the DE Street Outlaws as a tire were significantly better as a tire. The rubber was better, the compound was better, the traction was better. So what happened? We said, hey, it's no prep, which means no prep on the surface. Nothing about putting prep on the tires. There was a lot of controversy, but it evolved. We had racing that got better. It got better for everybody. Now people that maybe were having a hard time, it elevated the field. I think we can agree prep elevated the field. Everyone started going quicker. The time started getting faster. That was a good thing. I am never going to dispute that that was a good thing. But it also was an evolution, right, of where we were, okay? If you talk about evolution, I heard a lot of people say the argument against this is it's going to make something else obsolete, which I completely disagree with. But let's talk about that idea.
Okay.
Let's talk about that idea. And I'm going to come back to a couple things, but let's just talk about that idea. Has anyone heard the argument? Has anyone on this panel heard that argument that that car is going to make something obsolete? Have you guys heard that or not heard that?
Yes.
Yes.
All
okay,
right.
Yes.
We have heard.
Hold on. Give me 1 second, Gary. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got Tommy in here as well.
Hey, Tommy.
I'm gonna bring him in right now so we can have an open discussion.
Okay.
There he is, Mr.
Hey,
Burgess
Mr.
himself.
Burgess.
How you doing, Gary?
What's going on?
Hey, guys, listen. Before we go any further, I would like to extend an apology to Mr. Tommy Burgess. Tommy and I don't know each other, but a long time ago, he contacted me, and to be honest with you, I really wasn't happy with what he was telling me, and I was really rough with him, and it is what it is. So, Tommy, I want to actually on live apologize to you. I was very rough with you. I personally didn't appreciate what you were saying at the time. I think I understand it now, and it's me to be rough with you. I was rough with you, and guys, I'm putting that out to the whole world. I owe Tommy Burgess an apology. Tommy, I apologize. I hope that you can accept that apology.
Awesome.
I can. A few things I would like to add. So the reason prep became available or more rapidly ran at the King of the Streets, the first time I'd ever seen anybody prep a tire was Mark Vine. Yep. And I asked at the time, I thought we could not prep. And per the officials at the race, I was told, and this is a really bad thing to say, it's outlaw. That was the answer. So what happened was, in my opinion, everybody came back from Vegas and said, if all the biggest races are going to be on prep tires, our local clubs have got to do prep. So that's kind of where I feel like that race bullied everything to go prep, my opinion.
And you're 100% right. That's exactly correct. But exactly to the point that I made is we weren't supposed to be doing it. Somehow we figured out that we are going to do it, and it has elevated the game. Okay, it has completely elevated the game. Right now, but guys, let's face it. To Tommy's own point, at the time, it was supposed to be no. Right? What are we saying? We're saying, hey guys, this is outlaw drag racing. Drag racing is the epitome of pushing the envelope. Right? How many people out there that drag race build their own motors, make their own parts, intake manifold, car? I mean, so like intake manifolds. So many people have gotten famous from making their, like Wilson manifolds, right? Start out with metal manifolds. Now he makes some of the best ones out there, right? You look at some of the things, but let's go back to guys like Warren Johnson and back in that day, Coletta, all these guys when they were drag racing and most of these people were making their own stuff. They were making their own parts. That is the epitome of what we're doing. We're not supposed to be fitting into some cozy little box. We're supposed to be on the very fringe of what we're doing. At this level, this is not, to Tommy's credit, to his credit, when he was told it was outlaw, it wasn't a stock box class. It was not a stock box class. It was outlaw. But we're a little bit off topic. I just want to finish my thought on the. So we agreed that we have heard that this is going to make something obsolete. Okay. But guys, let's look at the evolution of RC, especially in our sport, And let's look at everything that became obsolete. All right. We just said in the second King of the Streets, Clay Keats and Jacob Leader went to the finals. One of them had a plastic chassis DR10, Jacob, and Clay had an aluminum chassis B6 conversion, right? That's what he was doing, right?
Yeah.
Well, what soon happened? Soon happened, we had the purpose-built carbon fiber race car, right?
Yep.
After that, who went back to a plastic or stock chassis car? Nobody.
Not a lot of people. Some people didn't want to give them up.
No one going to King of the Streets. Now I have a DR10. It runs awesome. You know, I mean, you know, it's an amazing car, but I'm not going to go to the King of the Streets and enter it. So let's understand that all of a sudden we took what was two amazing racers, right, at this big event in King of the Streets. That one especially was a really big event. Now we've made that car obsolete. And I just said, what tires were we using at the time? We all were using reactions. Well, what happened soon after? What was the next thing? We got the Voodoo. Guys, do you guys remember? Now, I think we take it for granted today because they're a little bit more available and we have other options. I'm going to get to that. But tell me right now, how many arguments were out about the Voodoo? Oh, you can't get them. I can't get them. People wanted to ban them from their races. We didn't do that. Why did we not do that? We didn't do it just for the reason of where we are today. When we did not ban the Voodoo, what did it do? It made guys like Dragworks and Josh Tyrol, it forced them to go into business and bring more options. And because they brought more options, now we got better racing, more options. And look, now a company like Voodoo has said, hey, shit, I'm losing, excuse my French, I'm losing a market share. I'm going to up production. Now, they went and invested a lot of money in their tooling so they can make the tires. But aren't we better for that today? Isn't it so nice to be able to pick up your phone and order a set of tires and not worry about, like, are you gonna be the first 30 seconds to do it? So much better. Now, let's keep moving forward. What happened next? Next was the 4-pole motor. Who the hell uses anything but a 4-pole motor in Outlaw? As a matter of fact, it got so bad that people were like Phantom. I talked to the guys over there, and you know, I think it's terrible because they're an amazing motor company, but they're just like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. We're not making a 4-pole. I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. So and I think it was a smart idea, come up with a 2-pole only class. Smart idea. I've actually did that in my own racing. I had, well, a little bit differently. I give you an incentive by bonus points for running a 2-pole because I want to keep that alive. But we have so many iterations of products that have made the other one obsolete. Let's look at the battery, right? We went from running.
Hold on, Gary. We going down the rabbit hole. We halfway down. We got to come back. Let me bring it back.
Right.
Let me bring it back. Good arguments though, but we got to bring it back. Okay. Let's just start here. Okay. Yep. The car is not allowed in NPRC.
They suggest. Let's say that. That's their suggestion.
Right. I'm sorry.
That's just a suggestion, right? They can't force you guys to do that, right? Like they can't. If you guys wanted to race the car, no one's going to call you and take you to court for it, correct?
Right. It's a suggestion. They suggest that for their rule set for 2024, you cannot use that car. Now let's talk about why. That's what we need to get to, the meat and potatoes, and then we're going to let Tommy give his side.
Sure.
Okay. So now I want to make sure I got it right. It had, per the guidelines that they set, outer and inner hinge pin.
Yep.
Okay. We have 3 car manufacturers right now. We have more. Forgive me for that. We have more than 3, but I would say the big 3 or 4 that's in it right now. Custom Works.
Yep.
GFRP.
Yep.
DRC.
Yep. Three major guys.
Okay.
R1.
And R1. R1.
R1 is for sure their own car. I mean, let's face it, guys. I'm being honest. GFRP was the one who brought the car to the table. We have, two cars that are, very closely related to the GFRP. So,
Yeah, and 5-star. Excuse me. We
yeah,
got
okay.
5.
5-star, yeah, 5-star for sure. There you go. But I consider the GFRP car to be the car, and then you have 2 that are cousins of that car because they're pretty much the car. But so we really have 3 options, right? We got the GFRP family of car, we have the R1 family, and then 5-star. They're doing their own thing, and I mean it's kind of loosely based on the GFRP design, I think. But I do think that 5-star is doing I think that they are actually trying to figure something out that's giving an option to the customer that's not the same. I don't know if other people see it. That's the way I see it.
Well, listen, but here's my question. We have 5 car manufacturers that, I know it's more, guys, but let's just keep it moving. We have 5 major car manufacturers that all have the outer and inner hinge pin setup.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
And your car that you're promoting does not.
That's right.
Okay. So why not follow what they did? I mean, you don't have to because it's a suggestion.
So that's a great reason. That is a great reason. And matter of fact, that's a great question, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to start with something. I hope it doesn't offend anyone, but I'm going to talk just a little bit about religion. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. But does anyone know anything about the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What does it say in the Bible about how God created man? Do you guys know how did he create man? In his own image. Is that not correct?
I was going to say yes. Okay.
In his own image. God created man in his own image. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't care and the Bible, I think, is generally understood, Old Testament. I don't care if you're Catholic, Hebrew, Muslim. I think a lot of people understand that this is a very old book. All right. And there's some old ideas there. So I think it's safe to say that the idea that a creator of anything is going to create something in their own image. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, whoever it is going to create something in their own image. Let's look at auto manufacturers. If you see a Mustang driving down the street, okay, do you recognize it's a Mustang?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be a Fox body. It could be, a Coyote. It could be a 65. Why does Ford continue to make a Mustang that looks like a Mustang? It's because it is brand identifiable. It is in their own image, right?
Okay.
It's in their own image. Who was going to create something that is not in their own image? Now, you look at GFRP. Let's look at their history. Amazing cars and have dominated the world of dirt oval, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went into their part. They said, hey, guys, you know what? This drag racing thing is picking up huge. We want to throw our hat in the ring. So what did they do? They went into their parts bin, right?
Okay.
And took a bunch of parts that were dirt oval parts and put it on a chassis and a transmission and made it work. And we had a great car. I don't think anyone can dispute that the Apollo, when it came out, was a game changer. It was dominant, right? When Frank Ulrich had the Apollo, that thing was a game changer and it was dominant, right? But was anything truly not GFRP about that car? No. When they designed it, if you were a dirt oval guy, you looked at that car and you're like, oh, look at these shocks. I know these shocks. These toe blocks. I know these toe blocks. These caster blocks. I know them. It is in their own image. Also, as a company, why would you not want to design something in your own image, right? So now you look at a company like Exotech. Exotech does on-road cars. They don't have anything in their parts bin that resembles the GFRP. They don't. Why would they go out and design something that is not in their image, that's not brand identifiable? No one would do that. If you went to any university and you studied marketing, no one's going to tell you to build or design or market something that's not in your brand image. Coke is never going to sell Coke not in a red can. It's going to be in a red can. Pepsi will not be in a blue can. It'll always be in a blue can. Okay? Coke is recognizable anywhere in the world. Why? All you got to do is hold up the can, and it's a can of Coke. Brand identification is super important for a customer. Now, let's understand why this is important for you guys. This is important for you because, and this is, again, I'm gonna hammer on this. Okay. What did we say about the Voodoo? When Voodoo was the only game in town, we had no options. We just had to sit there and, oh my God, it's open. Bye. Right? But competition improves the breed. All right? Josh Cyril said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the fight to Voodoo. I'm going to take the fight to him. I'm going to come up with a tire. And guess what? He did an amazing job. Mark at Dragworks says, hey, you know what? I can do this too. I got connections. I'm going to make a tire. Now we have competition, right? Sweep comes out with a tire. We got competition. It made it better for the consumer. Do you really want to go back to the days when all you had to do is sit around and wait for the pre-order to open? Or do you like it better now?
All right. Well, that's good. Now, Tommy, go ahead. Your turn, sir. Thank you for being patient, too.
Not a problem. Gary brings up a lot of great points, but I kind of feel the greatest point that he does not bring up is this. This is, if we take the hinge pin rule away, the current crop of cars within 6 months are obsolete. And I can lean you in a bunch of different directions as to why. Even the Exotech car with its modified hinge pin-ish design will be obsolete. We'll start running 4-link cars. The problem is, if you look at F1, they had to cap money in F1 because it's so damn expensive. And there comes a point where you have to save the racer from themselves. And as far as the NPRC being a suggestion, Gary is 100% right. It's a suggestion. If you'll follow these rules right here, more than likely you're going to be successful. The hinge pin deal, you take the Exotech car. I've looked at it. It's got a bunch of different links. This fits right in Gary's alley about he's dealt with these kind of setups. It doesn't scare me none the bit. But here's the deal. If the common Joe racer wrecks that car, how easy is it to get it back squared up? How easy is it to do? At the end of the day, that's what a bunch of it boils down to. Even the Exotech car, if you take away the hinge pin rule, will be obsolete because we'll all go to running 4-link stuff. That's what we're going to do. There's people already got designs on the board. We have to think about what's best for common Joe racer, not what is best for elite racer. Common Joes make it to where elite racers can go race for $20,000. Once all the bashers and the common Joe racers quit racing, we don't have big pots, and it's the same 25 people going around the country running one another. That's why the hinge pin rule is important. And also, for as much bashing as the NPRC gets, I want you to think about when I say this, guys, and everybody listening. You know, guys, they get paid a hell of a lot of money to get bashed. Oh, that's right. They don't get paid shit. Everyone that does anything with the NPRC does it and doesn't get paid. They do it out of the love of the hobby. My problem is, if you're going to build a car to come run a class and you're going to build it, you know what the rules are. I don't have a problem with people being innovative. I like innovation. If y'all want to if everybody wants to start in the country a true outlaw run with your brung 10th scale class, I'm down with it, whatever. But this class right here, you cannot let it eat itself. And currently, that's what it tried to do. The difference in the Voodoo versus this design is this. Voodoo was a shortage issue. That's what the problem with Voodoo was. It was a shortage issue. And it made Cyril and them jump in the game. Did that help things? 100%.
Yeah,
This right here is a total departure from a supply and demand issue. There is no supply and demand issue. If anybody's noticed, racing has changed over the past year and a half. Little Timmy and little Jimmy don't come racing no more hardly. It's serious hardcore guys. So what are you going to do? How are you going to tell somebody we're going to get in an engineering war, Gary? That's what will happen, in my opinion. We'll get in an engineering war, and the racer will lose out because he will continually have to buy. You can take a 23 Apollo and a 24 Apollo, and there are changes in them, but they're somewhat similar. You can take a 22 Apollo and still win. But if you start allowing the type of, it's not the innovation in the Exotech car. That, just to be honest, that's not what people are worried about. It's what it opens the door up to. Like, if you working in an engineering firm, if they give you unlimited opportunity, they say it's just got to have 8 cylinders. There's no horsepower limit. You run 16 turbos. You can have 32 valves ahead, whatever. See what I'm saying? You get into a thing to where all of a sudden it's a money war. And I don't think that's what you want. And that's what I don't want. I don't want it to be a money war. I want it to be about.
I don't think anybody wants a money war. I don't think anybody. But Tommy, you bring up a couple good points. I want to counter on something. So we talked about the tire, and that was a supply issue. And I agree it was a supply issue. But, we can't go back in time, right? We can't go back in time. But had no one stepped up, would we still be having a supply issue? I don't know. But let's look at something.
I think we would.
We probably would.
Okay.
But let's look at something else. Let's talk about the 4-pole motor. Do you remember when no one could get a Castle 1412? No one. People were selling them for $400. All right? Okay. No one had an uproar about that. Look at where we are today. We have so many better options. But I'm going to also just reverse a little bit. Okay. What you say about the 4-link and stuff like that and the money war is all super amazing points. But, and this is the big but, what is that you just said? The 4-link is a design concept, right? This is a style of concept. We have here a car that has upper and lower control arms, right? Nothing really all that different at any other car. It still bolts the gearbox to the chassis. We got a shock tower. Nothing is floating, things like that. But what we do have is the how. Okay? What? And this, just so you know, I'm actually very well versed in a lot of different forms of just stuff I like to read. So everything from, like the Constitution to law to, product liability, I'm very well versed in. But I can tell you, because of my professional background, open up, and I can send you the snapshot because I came very prepared for this. Open up the all right, I'm going to stop for 1 second. Well, open up the NHRA rulebook. The NHRA rulebook will never tell you how to do a suspension. It specifically says, and I have screenshots from so many classes, for a class that uses suspension, it says any suspension will do. What we're talking about here is not the what. This is a control arm. Other cars have control arm. We're talking about the how you are mounting this. Okay, it is not the what. And if you mentioned Formula One, I also am very well versed in the FIA rulebook. The FIA rulebook never says anything at any point about how you actually do something. They define the scope, right? So they define the scope of something is, and then it's up to you to do it. This here with the ball is a how. It is not a what. The control arm is a control arm, all right? It mounts to the chassis on this side. It mounts to a hub on this side. The how is different, all right? The how is different. Now, let me just talk about a couple things. We're all Americans, right? We love America.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, what does the Constitution say? You know what the Constitution says? What's the First Amendment say? It says, in addition to free speech, right? In addition to free speech, the First Amendment protects the consumer's right to buy. First and foremost, the Constitution really is about individual freedom. It's never been about driving anything. Now, what we're talking about when we talk about the how, and this is why NHRA, this is why the FIA, this is why NASCAR read the rule books. It will never ever tell you how. They define the box. They can never tell you. There's a reason for that because it's unconstitutional. But I can tell you that we have things in this country called antitrust laws. These antitrust laws exist just for this reason, because when you come up with a concept that drives something to one sector of the market, this is economic protectionism. We don't do that. Now, guys, I know this is way outside of the scope of what we're talking about here with the RC car, but the idea, if we didn't change our ideas, we still would be where we are 30 years ago. We would have increased racism, sexuality, all the things that, guys, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't
All right.
approve,
Okay,
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't approve of what people do or say, especially with this transgender thing, but I accept it.
Time out, Gary.
Gary, you going? Gary, you way right field, sir. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. I got to stop it.
So Gary, I can appreciate where you're going here. Exotech decided to come play in the NPRC sandbox.
Well,
they made that decision, and they took they took a chance that what they would produce would get passed. It hasn't. I'm not going to ever stifle innovation, but sometimes you have to put something in place to protect people. This, in the opinion of a lot of people, not everybody, protects the average Joe racer. This is the way I look at it. To me, I'm not worried about the Exotech design. I'm worried about if you open it up, what it leads to. It leads to higher consumer cost. It's going to lead to lower turnouts because now people are going to feel whether they know the magic behind the box. Because, manufacturers are really good at saying, here's the latest, greatest X, Y, and Z. People are going to feel that they're behind if they don't go have the latest and greatest, whether it is or not. That's just a fact. If you run people,
absolutely, no one ever would disagree. Anyone who's been in racing knows that you are going to go after everything of this highest technology, right?
Yep.
That's what we do.
Okay.
Yes, so
Time out. Let's reel it back in a little bit, everybody. Let's everybody take a couple of breathers. The blood pressure is up because the mics are jumping.
I'm good.
Okay, calm down.
Bro.
I want everybody to do a couple of woo-saw, grab your ears, rub them out. Yeah, let's calm down. Okay, now, Brian, you sitting over there like you got something to say. What's going on, Brian?
Well, I kind of see both sides, but I feel like that if there was a set of rules in place. Thank you for putting me on the spot, by the way. But
I'm sorry.
But I feel like if there's a set of rules in place and a manufacturer wants to get into that game, he or they, whoever it may be, take those rules, look at them, and build a car. And along the process, check to make sure, hey, does this fall within you all's guidelines? I'm coming to them, so I'm coming to play their game. So this is where I kind of side with Tommy, but I do love the innovation. And I guess where it comes down to is the hinge. I'm sorry.
I don't deny the innovation. I love it too, but it's a sandbox issue.
Right. But so then if we're stuck in that little hinge,
let them finish. Gary, let them finish. Let them finish, Gary. We let you finish. Let them finish. Just let them finish. You can come on. Go ahead.
So I guess what my question to you, Gary, is if we're contemplating or discussing or frustrated over the length of the hinge pins, then okay, let's say if you made them longer and just made one straight through Henpin. What's the problem with that? Where it was legal, I guess.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, go ahead, Gary. Mm-hmm.
it's not my car. It's not my car to make that decision. I'm going to be honest with you. I
Right.
told you I don't design it. It's not my car to make that decision. But what I can tell you is, look at where I am today. I'm out here at Gary Rowe's event at the Hootenanny, and I have a whole team of people who showed up with this car, and they're all doing well. So if you want to talk about a sandbox, right? If you want to talk about a sandbox, what's going to happen when the shiny toy moves over to this sandbox? Because, guys, we have to stop calling these rules. They're not rules. That's the thing. It's a suggestion that, and because you are following it, that makes it your decision. All right. If they held events, they can hold their own event. But you guys hold your own. You guys hold your own event, and you can do whatever you want. No one is going to come and challenge you. But look at what we're doing today. We got a huge event down here. You're down here. I'm down here.
Yep.
The parking lot's full, and this is a different sandbox. So if you want to talk about maybe just intelligence, why would you not look for inclusiveness? Guys, this is not a 4-link car. And here's back to the rule thing. If you just had a real organization in place that really knew how to read and write a rule book legitimately, then you can have something. But what we have is essentially a very loose guideline that was started by Tim Smith. It never ever, I mean, go look it up. It's on Facebook. You can look it up. Tim Smith, NPRC guidelines. You'll see it. All right. It never had this. We moved over to this. And what we're talking about is the how. We're not talking, we're talking about how it mounts. This is not a 4-link car. So we're going to get to this granularity and not only this, but it's, guys, not for nothing. It's completely unconstitutional. It's completely unconstitutional. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was rejected, I would have a legitimate case to go and say, hey, you know what? I was discriminated against, and I would win. And we know I would win because people have gotten money for getting burned from hot coffee. That's the world we live in.
Well,
Hell no.
But-
Hell no. Hold on, Drew. Hold on. Hell no, Gary. You ain't going to damn sue and win this shit. You come to play in somebody else's sandbox, dude.
But I'm not playing.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you what we'll do.
No one has to come play there. No one does.
Right. People choose to.
No one does. But that's the point. No one has to play there. They can play here.
Okay, right.
And nobody's stopping you from that.
So let me get my question out, because this is what I want to ask. Everybody calm down. We're all friends. This is what I'm saying though, okay? We all friends, we all race, but okay, Garrett, so you're saying that, I don't have to play in this sandbox, which I get. You have a race here where your car is allowed.
That's right.
Right? Or the car that you represent. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
My question is, if you already have that, why are you pushing for the board that has, like you said, only suggestions to let you in?
Oh, I'm not. I don't know where this confusion is that I'm actually wanting them to change. I just want to make an argument about why you don't see that. I'm going to tell you right now, if no one over there wants something different, I'm perfectly fine with that. But what I don't want is to say, hey guys, you know what? Bravo, good for you. I'm gonna play over here. Okay, I don't want that. What I want to do is say, hey, listen, let me have an opportunity to just talk about some ideas that actually benefit the consumer, right? Because it does. Guys, this car is $575 retail price, not on sale. It's $575. What car that's not on sale is at that price level?
No, I think the closest one right now would be Custom Works, or maybe an R1 with a couple of stripped down parts.
Yeah.
But I got you. Okay.
The retail cost is $575. So it's not skyrocketing a price. I understand, but if we had a real rule set, you know what I'm for? This is actually what I'm for. I'm actually for bringing some people together and actually write a real rule set, and that organization actually sanctions and runs races.
Well,
but when you have individual factions, right? We're just tribes. That's all we are. We're just tribes. We run, by some idea of, the Cherokees, and we're just tribes, and we don't follow. We're not a government, right?
yeah, that stuff costs money too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course it does. But that's the point: is why are we going through so much hassle? Why?
Right. That's what I'm trying to find out, because you said you're not trying to get your car in. You just want to make the argument, which I understand.
I just want to make the argument because maybe it enlightens someone. And if it doesn't, I'm fine with. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm happy with what Gary Rowe's doing. I think he's doing an amazing job. We're going to be racing in Virginia for $10,000. All right. But guys, I told you when I started this, my benefit, what I get out of this is trying to enlighten everyone. So if you have a club over where you are, right, and somebody else starts a club, I don't care what they do, but let's just say they start bringing some nice shiny stuff and people start going there, well, that's not good for anyone, right? That's not good for anyone. And that's I don't care if it's business. You look at any business, right? Look at two gas stations opposite the same corner. They're the exact same price. It's the exact same price. You go down the street, a gas station changes the price, right? Because when you have competition like that, it can help or it can hurt. But sometimes you have someone that's the winner and someone that's the loser. Do you really want to give your opportunity to somebody else? Maybe you do. I don't care. I mean, I'm actually very happy here. If I never attend because I'm not allowed, I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to even show up, right? But I am going to come here. The people that I support, my customers, will come here. And who knows, maybe they're going to influence someone, and they influence someone, and you know how it works, right? So with that being said, right, this is why we have a discussion, because at the end of the day, we're talking about the how, not the why, right? This is a control arm. It's just mounted differently. And it's also done in a way that's identifiable with one brand. Why would anyone do something that's not brand identifiable? Why? You think that's a good marketing idea?
No, and this is just me, the way I'm looking at it. And again, I'm on no one side. Because the first thing is like this. Tommy says he's not worried about the car. He's worried about the door that the car opens. Okay? That's what he's saying. And I understand that. You're saying, why are you trying to stifle innovation? Because it's coming. But we're starting to, and what's happening is this: we're starting to separate our racers, right? We're starting to separate, and that is right. That is not what we want, because when I started this, the first thing I said, and I'll tell you right now, I thank the Webbs for giving me a platform to start on, okay, for me to host my show. But when I went and got on this program and used their stuff, there are people who automatically put me in the bad category. They just boom, you over this side now. Okay? And like I said, a friend of mine said, look, dude, you may not wanted to choose a side, but you chose a side and you flew a flag. That is exactly what he told me. And I sat there and said, nah, that's not it. That's not the case. And yes, it was. That was the case. Okay? I mean, I got people mad at me just for that. So, and I'm not going to go on no tangents. This is what I'm saying. You got two sandboxes. Okay? We don't want the races to separate, because if they separate, we all turn this shit. We be fucked. Okay?
Right.
Correct.
That's why I'm here. Because if I didn't care, I would just say, hey, guys, you know what? I don't care. You don't need to hear my side of it. I'll just play over here. But I'm here
Okay.
because I do care.
Okay. So in its current form, oh God, Frank's on too. Man, the messages are coming in so fast you can't even read them. I mean, you got guys online fighting each other. This is crazy. I mean, this is like the Bloods and the Crips. They like, forget all that. I'll race anybody and I'll beat you. I'm like, what in the world?
We knew it was going to be. But, you know, the truth is, guys, we're racing RC cars. One, I don't want to say this because I have so many people arguing with this that we're racing toys. No, we're not racing toys.
Not racing toys.
Real,
We're racing scale race cars.
Damn right. We running scale race cars. All the toys were left at home.
Scale race cars. We're not. But we.
Only thing is you can't sit your ass in it.
We
That's the
should be
only
having
difference.
fun, and we should be looking to add inclusiveness. Now, I am all for a real, solid organization that defines. Guys, look. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's a little suspicious that we don't have a better speed controller?
Tommy answered that question before.
So I'll answer that question because I just got off the phone with somebody about ESC.
What did they say?
It's not as easy to make what we want. As a matter of fact, one manufacturer has made one that would hold up better, and they went slower when they put it in the car. There's some limiting factors of technology is what they say. It's their tail. I sit on mine. I get it. But at the end of the day, what they're telling us is if we go to the next step, things are going to get increasingly pricey to do it. Now, there's one reason that the R1 is the most dominant ESC. It's got some inherent internal design features no other ESC has. I won't talk about it to give away their trade secret, so to speak, but if you'll take one apart and you'll take other people's apart, you'll see what the difference is. The point of it is, I don't find it suspicious that we only have one. A manufacturer, and you alluded to Phantom, is a good example. Is what they're willing to put in, are they going to get the return? It's a cost analysis of the business model. The business model of NPRC right now is eating itself alive. It's eating its own young. Therefore, only the people that's in it want to put enough money in it to maintain their market share. I think that's a fair statement.
Bingo.
So,
you said exactly what I'm talking about. We need to open because, guys.
Are you willing to, Gary, to acknowledge that if you open it, that leads to the possibility of more complex race cars with more complex design that may not be user-friendly to the guy that works 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, and doesn't have time to be all, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just can't be in it.
Absolutely, of course. Of course it does. Of course it does.
So I think that is where the hinge pin rule, limits some of the actually participation laws. There's going to be some of us, and you know this, all of us that's on this right now knows, some of us will spend to the nth degree to go win. Other people can't do that. So if you talk about Formula One is a great example. If it was affordable, more teams would try to be doing it.
Yes.
Because it's a cool ass business model. Like Formula One is the ultimate. I love Formula One, but I also realize it's a rich man's game. I row in a canoe, I don't float in a yacht. That's the difference. So that's going to be where, in my opinion, I don't think the design of that right there, what you have, is the end all be all threat. I think the premise, if you open Pandora's box, you can prep. If you open the Pandora's box, you can't put it back. People won't let you. So, because next time somebody's going to say, well, the Exotech car has been allowed, you let them break the rules and then change the rule for them. Why can't you change the rule for me? And that's a precedent. If you set a precedent of bad behavior, you'll pay for it. Now, I do agree with you about if you want to have an organization, because the level of motorsports you've come from is a different level. This is grassroots. Nobody yet. Hey, I'm all for it. If the NPRC wants to start charging you a $50 membership a year and X, Y, and Z and do it, I'll pay it. I don't care because it's worth the headache for somebody else to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like
It probably is. But you know, Tommy, here's the thing. Let's look at some of the top professionals, right? Let's look at people like yourself, like Frank, right? Do you think that you spent a considerable amount of time perfecting your racing or a very little amount of time?
I spent a considerable amount of time honing my craft. Yes.
Yes, you did. Right? Do you think a guy like Frank Ulbrich probably did?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
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 How about any one of you guys? Did you guys think you spent a decent amount of time on it?
Man, I spend so much time with this crap, and I'm not even fast. So I can just imagine what the fast guys are spending on it.
But
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have the time to spend on it. I went to my wife yesterday, and she told me, you play with that shit way too much.
And
okay?
we probably all do. But here's the point. How many people have tried to argue with you about why they're not fast when they really just don't put in the work?
A lot.
A lot, right? A lot.
Mm-hmm.
We all understand that. So what do we all understand? We understand that anything that has competition is going to have a pinnacle. It's going to have a pinnacle, right? What we need to do, really, is understand where we're actually, what level we're playing. You talk about Formula One. We're playing in the Formula One of RC car racing.
Yes.
No other RC car performs like we do. These 7th scale 4-wheel drive guys, they get smoked by you guys, right? Didn't Frank embarrass so many of them so many times?
I think they went about 11. I think I went 11-0 in Michigan.
Yeah, he canceled a couple of them. So, we got some people around here that did that.
But that's the point, is that we're not talking about the bottom. We're talking about the top. The top is always going to be the top.
Cream always rises.
It's always going to be the top. So the guy who's going to work hard, the guy who's going to learn, the guy who's going to understand will always win because he puts in the work.
Hold on.
There's a saying that says fast will always be fast, and that's what you're saying.
He puts in the work. No one can ever take away some of your all's accomplishment. You can't take that away, right? You can't, because I know from my professional background how much work it takes just to do one thing good, let alone a whole bunch of stuff good, right? But that's not the point, and it's not even the point of this conversation.
All right, hold on. Let's try to, and I don't mean to cut you off, Gary, but these guys over here, they going crazy. Let's see if we can try to answer. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. We got into this. So if you have some legitimate questions without throwing shade or starting fights, go ahead and put them up there. Let's see if we can get the questions on for both sides. So let's everybody take 5, because it is a great conversation that we're having. Let's just see what the comments are right now. Let's see. All right. Hold on. Let me see.
He was talking about Frank Ulbrich earlier, so throw his question up.
I'm trying to find
his statement up. Val, I don't know if Val's or Richie can put that up there. Could you go back down?
I got control of it today. That's right.
Oh, you got it.
But let me see. Hold on. And let's see. The lack of knowledge, experience. Okay.
2101 is where it's at. 25. 2101.25 is the number.
All right. No, I don't have that. I got 1808. I'll go back, it goes down, so I don't have that one. I don't know what you're saying, 2505. Hold on. Let's see what else I can find.
GFRP broke the first rule in all-purpose drag build. I'm not understanding that. Tell me what that means.
So in the beginning, everybody wanted to stay with tracks of space tub cars.
Yes.
And excuse me. The rule said it had to be an off-road. They wanted you to start with an off-road platform.
Mhm.
Last time somebody challenged Dustin on that, he took a oval only carbon conversion and jumped hills with it. So it was very loose basis. I guess you could say we broke the rules or broke whatever, but when the carbon deal was going to come, we knew it. I think the questions got to be, and this settles an argument in my opinion. At the end of the day, what level do we want to be? Gary said levels. Talked about the level. We're at the pinnacle. Well, right now we've got a lot of participation in our form of Formula One. If the door flies wide open, there'll be a lot of people fall back down the mountain, and you won't have them, in my opinion, because they're not going to want to spend the money to chase the evolution. We know that R&D costs money.
Well, get us some. Okay. All right. So, and I can see your point there. Vanishing point. Okay. So here's a question from Ken. Question is, if Exotech didn't sponsor the race or Gary, would the chassis be allowed to participate in his series?
100%.
That's throwing shade, dude. Come on.
No, hold on. I can even answer that on Gary Rowe's behalf, because Gary consulted me about this. Gary said, and I quote, "I want to be my own standalone, and I feel X, Y, and Z about this." I told him, I says, "I understand, and I encourage you to follow whatever path with the RC, was it RCHDRA, that you want to follow. Just understand something. People will show you how they feel through their wallet. If they support you, then you know you made the right decision. If they don't, then you also know. But that's the chance you take. And as a businessman in an organization such as Gary is trying to be, those are the obstacles that he faces and the decisions. The NPRC guidelines and rule set has been put out. Gary Rowe has another set. Is it going to divide people? No, it's not. There's people that are going to go run, that want to run the Exotech car. If you want to run the Exotech car, I encourage you to. I want you to be an RC. I want you to be happy. That's number one. So just know that most of your major money races are going to be on one set of guidelines. That's why most people follow that guideline, because they felt it offers a certain level of protection from overspending.
Okay. Gary, go ahead.
Well, yes, you're right. We have two competing camps, right? We have two different sandboxes, and people go to one or the other or both. I know for a fact there's people out here that do both, and there's going to be people that do both. And the truth is, whatever guideline someone wants to adopt, right? That's their decision. And as you know, we are, God-loving Americans. That's amazing, because that's your decision. No one's going to come to you, Drew, and say, "Nope, you got to do this." We can all have our own decision. The point that I really want to hammer home is, guys, we're talking about a few little semantics, and we're also talking about something that was in somebody's image. But if we're going to, have this be this much of a discussion point, there's really no point in going at it any further, right? It's just like we're going to agree to disagree, and that's it. But I do agree. I do have to disagree with the notion that we don't spend a lot of money following either guidelines. We all spent a lot of money, probably a lot more than we're even willing to admit. So,
absolutely.
So because when I get back to the thing about the 4-pole, nobody banned it, right? Nobody banned it. I mean, look what happened at R1, right? Mark, it's no secret, right? Mark got into it with the owner of R1 over running a 4-pole when they didn't have one, and that broke up, what they were doing. And is that right? Is it wrong? I don't know. You know, I wasn't there. I'm not part of it. But did that happen? That actually did happen, right?
Yes, it
So
did. I remember that.
that actually is something that did happen over a motor. Over a motor. We have a guy, an innovator, right? Like, you know, Mark Vine's an innovator. We have an innovator who is on a team bringing whatever he was bringing, and over a motor, we broke up a team. So, you know, I mean, is this going to happen? It's going to happen, I think. You know, are we going to spend money? We're racing at the top. We're going to spend money, you know? And I'm actually very happy with what Gary Rowe's doing. I like what he's doing. We have a really, I mean, for how cold it is, there's a good turnout of people out here. We're running good numbers. And if people decide they want to play here, they'll play here. If they want to play over there, if they play both, that's amazing. Ultimately, I would love for it to be you show up at my event and I welcome you. I go to your event and you welcome me. That's what I want. That's what I want. You know, but if we can't have it, we can't have it. It's fine.
Okay.
The only thing I would say about that is this: if you come to my event or I go to yours, we both respect the rule set when we show up.
That's
it's like it is the rule set. If I drive to an event where the Exotech's allowed, I have no right to say anything about that car being at that race.
yes.
Just like if you go to a race where the NPRC rule set is followed, you have no right to bitch that the Exotech can't run. That I think we both agree. We both agree to have our own freedoms and liberties to choose to do what we want. The problem of it is, I don't worry about the design of the Exotech as much as I worry about what it can cause as far as others. And I don't think that the average Joe racer wants to get in a money war. We do spend a lot of money, but could you imagine somebody constantly having to upgrade every 3 months to a different chassis design? I mean, it could, that's what it could become.
I get it, but that's also not something that we haven't seen already. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, Josh just jumped in. Josh, welcome to the show.
What's up?
Josh jumped in at 1 hour and 17 minutes, so we're still doing good. Let's everybody.
I missed you all for my daughter's hockey game, so I apologize about that. But I did want to come on, and this seemed like the perfect timing because I have my electric touring car that I've run active rear steer systems on for like 10, 12 years now. So I can tell you right now, from the on-road community side, everybody wishes we never allowed them. And let me explain why, because I don't even think some of these guys that are talking about it actually even know what happens. So when you set up one of these cars, and I apologize because I had actually talked to the board that I was going to sit down and make a CAD model and do a whole video presentation on this thing so everybody can understand why the board has been so against this type of system. Okay, so one of the big things that people don't understand is not only when you have one of these cars that has an active rear steer system, they are all connected. Okay, so when you adjust camber, guess what? Your toe changes. You adjust your toe, guess what? Or when you adjust your caster in these systems, guess what? It changes the bump toe. So any single adjustment on these cars will now tie into the other. So it makes everybody then, when I've seen some of these races with the fast turnaround, you go out and you brush a curb and shut down or something like that. Guess what? It's not going to be the same. Like you knock a quarter of a degree camber out, you're not just knocking camber out, you're also toe out. And if you, like with the double tie rod upper arms, which a lot of the touring cars have gone away from just for system stability, you end up changing the caster, which again changes the bump toe, which means racers have to go back. They have to put them on setup blocks. You have to get everything accurate. You have to measure the steering arm that comes off the hub for height so that your bump toe is the same. And again, I have no problem putting together a kinematic 3D model to show how all this works and explain it a lot better. But this is why when I explained it to the board, I left it to them to say, hey, why it's up to you guys what you want to do with this. Here's my opinion on it. I don't even care about the pivot balls on the inboard side of the suspension arm because those are basically locked in a fixed X. But everything out at the wheel end is the issue. because of the problems that active rear steer brings into it, and not just from a performance standpoint, because it does open a lot of performance gain possibilities. However, the biggest thing is the complexity, and what I don't think the drag community understands is the sensitivity of what that does. This stupid thing, okay, the best drivers in the world, I race with a lot of them. Okay, I used to be one. We literally tune those things with 0.5 millimeter ball stud shims. I can ruin that car with a 1 millimeter shim. Is that
Okay.
what we want for the future of no prep RC?
Okay.
I
So
know the board didn't think so, and that's why we made those rules. And we also do take offense to the fact that people are saying that the board doesn't know anything, the board doesn't race, the board doesn't do anything, blah blah blah. I ran my first Roar Nationals in like 1986. So get off your horse. We've been around in this longer than most everybody else in it. Okay, we've seen the past of it. We have a very good group of people. So check yourself.
okay. All right. So hold on. So what you're saying is that the if you crash the car, it will take more time to get it squared back up.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
So if the
You're gonna
racer,
at least 20 minutes on just the setup blocks getting it dialed in.
okay. So if the racer decides to race that and he can't make the next round, that's going to be on him, right?
I agree, but the end all be all from our point of view making the rule is this going to help with all the prep problems and all the other issues that there are in this right now, speed control issues and everything else? Do we need to add one more thing that's going to potentially burn it down more? Because I'll be honest,
Okay. Got it.
guys like Frank Ulbrich, guys like Rick Talbot, guys like myself, if we raced with these systems, and with all due respect, what we can make and what I already have drawn on my computer when the NPR board originally told me it wasn't allowed, yeah, I would pretty much make every single car in this obsolete in a matter of a month.
Okay. So now we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
No.
So just like Tommy said, and a lot of guys said this, if the right person gets hold of that car, there is no limit to what they can do. Now, I'm going to just ask you straight out. If would that car be faster than any car right now?
Yes.
You can just flat out say it would be faster.
If they knew what they were doing, easy. Piece of cake. And I'll tell you right now, if I go to the track and I test Rick Talbot for 2 weeks, no one's beating us. And I can say that with confidence because I've raced systems like this for this long. My job was doing kinematic suspension studies for General Motors and that. I know how all this stuff works. And yeah, people may say I'm arrogant about it or whatever, but I've the winningest on-road driver in U.S. RC history. Like, I know this stuff. You're literally moving it right into my wheelhouse. Like, this is the worst thing you guys could want to do. So this is again, I come from a position of, I used to be a hobby shop and racetrack owner. I've owned RC car companies for a lot of years, making car kits and everything. I see the evolution of cars, and I ask the same question every time we go down a path. Does this matter? Is it going to only make us go faster, but reduce our head count because of the complexity and costs that we're bringing into the system? I've argued this on so many various things over the years in RC, from 12 scale to touring car to 10 scale pan oval, you name it. It's always been the same question. Are we going to get better racing that is going to bring more people into it by having these systems or having these design things like that? And the answer, 99.9% of them, no. But what do? We add a lot of cost and complexity that people struggle with. And it's not the biggest thing that people forget is all of you gentlemen have been in this for a while, right? I've been in it. All of us will figure it out and do it. But the problem is, I don't care about all of us because we will put in the time and the effort and the work to do it. The important part is retaining the people we have, gaining new people, and maybe capturing back the people that left because of prep issues or whatever issues there is. So again, this all works if there's people racing. If it continues to decline, then no one's racing. Then you know, what are we talking about? You know, so that's the biggest thing too. Is, you know, I heard Gary mention about professional racers. I used to be one, right? That was my job. I traveled over 200 days a year, 21 countries around the world. That was my job. There's no one in NPRC that's professional because this isn't big enough, and the manufacturer's afraid to put the money in to pay somebody full time, to pay their travel, to do those type of things because of how unstable it is. So I want, and trust me, I love this sport and hobby and industry. Like I've done it for a good portion of my life. I want to see it big enough to where there are kids that can come up and have the opportunities that I had to travel all these countries, travel to every continent, and do this type of stuff. So that's
Where's
why
your comment, sir? Where's
and
it at?
argue
In here
about
or on here?
you know, so that to me is where it needs to be big enough to where the companies can make enough money that, you know, people can do that type of stuff. So that's my place that I come from on this, and I really don't.
I can't find it.
I really get frustrated seeing the same mistakes being made.
Okay.
It has so much potential.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. Let's take 5. Let everybody get themselves together. We appreciate you coming on. It's a hot topic right now. It's a hot topic. Okay.
I only come on or asked to come on because of the beating that the board's taking and the attitude that people are taking towards them without understanding the direction that we're coming from and the experience that's actually on the board and you know, again, the point of view that's being spoken from. We all win if this grows.
Yeah.
But if
okay.
you make dumb stuff that ruins it, it's not going to grow. It's going to shrink.
I think John Fowler had a good point.
I can't find the comment where he's.
It's
where
there. It's at.
What's the number?
It's 21-25-58.
Yeah, I can't scroll, Mom.
Hey, and Anthony, I'm totally sorry, sir. Did you have anything? Because you have been patiently waiting.
No, sir. Hey, y'all, the show is going great. Just keep flowing.
And I want to say thank you to everybody for keeping they cool, because I know, I mean, if you, I'm not sure if y'all are reading the comments, but they, I mean, it's hot and heavy.
Yeah.
It's, I done heard there's a couple of $500 races about to happen. I'm gonna run out your life. I mean, this is great.
Okay,
$500 races. What?
I tell you this, that we have got, I'd say 95% of the big names in what we do in NPRC racing or no prep racing in the comments right now going at it. So this is, I mean, it's good.
At it.
Yeah, one of the things that I think that Josh needs to answer here, because I'm seeing in the comments, Josh, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Ask me anything you want to.
And not overlooking you, Gary, but it just says, so basically by not allowing this car that you clearly have an advantage in the right hands. Is that what I'm hearing? You said this car clearly had an advantage if it was in the right hands. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay. So what they're saying here in some of the comments I'm reading is, so by not allowing this car, and this is what I think Gary alluded to earlier, and I just want you to get your opinion. What would we be stopping innovation?
But again, my question is, okay, I'll give you a prime example. All right. So I had a problem. We were making 10 scale oval cars. I made a very successful one. We sold a whole bunch of them, won a ton of races. Another company, super smart dude, Andy McClellan at KSG, used a lot of similar geometry to what I did. Not a big deal, you know what happens in RC. But he took it a step further. So instead of machining chassis where you're machining a couple at a time, he took the cars countersunk, or not countersunk, but like pocketed all the chassis to sink all the radio gear down in it, the battery down into it. Then he flipped the chassis over and machined a giant pocket in it and put a giant tungsten plate to increase left side bias and lower the center of gravity. It was amazing. I mean, I'll be honest, I stopped making cars a few years later. I drove one of his cars. They're incredible. Absolutely incredible. But if you look at the top 10 from the Snowbirds or any of the major oval races, the next year, 2 years, 3 years later, it's all the same guys. All we did was literally triple the price of machining a chassis, because now you, instead of doing 3 at a time and then a countersinking profile, now you're doing a machine, a cut, take it off, count, pocket one side, flip it over, pocket the other, and then add a titanium plate. So you just add a couple $100 to a kit. Okay, yeah, they went faster. We had less racers. Was that beneficial to the industry? Was that beneficial to the manufacturers, or was that beneficial for one person? I did the same thing about talking about the suspension geometry here. I asked, Mike Boylan, Snowbirds, and the guys to say, hey, let's not do this. Let's not go down this route. Oh, you don't want to do it because you can't do it. Well, we can now. Every oval car is made with that, and they cost $600, $700, $800 instead of $350, $380. So it's that natural progression to where, and I still have a problem with the comments of innovation. Yeah. All they're doing is taking something that's been done since the 80s. I mean, Delta made 12-scale cars with those type of systems, and A-scale on-road cars with those type of systems. They went away from them because they were complicated and difficult for people to use, and those categories grew. They haven't gone back. So now we're going to go back to that, for this, and it doesn't make any sense. To me, I don't look at innovation of bringing something back from the 1980s that we got away from for a reason, because it was damaging the hobby.
Yeah. Gary, did you want to respond? Or
yeah, Gary.
Wow, kind of a lot of things here, Josh. I just want to summarize what I heard. We have ancient technology, old technology, you just said, right? But that old technology is superior in the right hands.
Automotive.
Stop. I listened to you talk.
For a performance standpoint, yes.
Okay, so everything that Frank Ulbricht's done, Mark Vine's done, that's all gone, right? Those guys suck. We put it in your hands, and it's going to be amazing. That's what you said. That's exactly what you said.
I'm saying, like myself.
Stop. That's exactly what you said.
Hold on. We're still friends.
Like myself, with these systems that knows how to use them. Yeah, you'll just make some.
You're going to be.
I've already run 100, or I've already run 100.
I think you should take the car. I think you should get the car.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Get the car and beat Frank. And then we could say, hey, you know what? Josh got the car, he beat Frank, and look, he proved the point. Because I don't think that would happen.
You don't realize that we already beat Frank up here. Rick Talbot and I have run with Frank in Pontiac. He's literally an hour away from him.
Okay, so I think Frank set the bar really high, and if you beat him, that's amazing. Good for you. But let's look at some of the top guys now. You know what? Let's look at.
Hold on.
Stop
it. Stop. Centennial, cut that out, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay.
So we can have the purpose of the show is to have a healthy debate on things, and at the end of the day, we got to respect each other's opinions.
Yes.
So we gotta keep this thing positive, and not. I mean, we can argue and we can fuss, but we can't be disrespectful on this show. That's part of the ground. And that includes the people in the comments too. So, I mean, let's not call people names. Let's not disrespect anybody. But let's talk about racing.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's talk about racing. So, I'm just rehashing what you said because I want to make sure I understand it. We said that, or you said that the car's too complicated for the NPRC racer.
No,
he said. Hold on. Let me go back. He said if there was an accident with that car, if you hit something or crash, it would take above 20 minutes or so to get that car framed back correctly. Okay? He did not say it would take him 20 minutes. He just said that depending on the level of the crash, you're looking at 20 minutes to get it back square. He's talking about the complication of the car. That was it.
Okay, fine. So, but we also agreed that that's on the racer, right?
I said that. I said that would be on the racer, yes.
That's on the racer. Now, you know, I want to ask you something about. You keep using this word, active rear steer. I'd like you to please define for me how it is active.
Oh,
Okay, if you want to consider it a passive system or active, however you want to consider it,
Whoa, hold on.
the touring car.
Passive and active are two completely different things. Mr.
Oh,
I am a kinematics engineer specialist.
oh
How
shit.
about we define passive and active?
okay, so technically, what we're talking about is a passive system that changes through travel. However, the way it's been labeled, not be quiet. The way it's been
All
labeled,
right, hold on now,
God
guys. Come
almighty.
on,
active,
Johnny.
an active system, which is normally, electronically controlled like a steering system. Like a E-rack or whatever, where it's computer programmed or changed like Formula One or anything like that. Okay, technically these are passive toe change systems. Through bump steer, through ride height change, etc., etc. Okay, however, it is still a change, and the difference is between real automotive and these. Stuff gets bent and moved around really easy in these that most racers don't even realize. If you bend a tie rod, say you get in a crash and you just slap everything together, and I know my measurements, it's good. But you bend a tie rod and the tie rod's got a half a degree bend. Guess what? Your toe's not going to be the same. Your camber's not going to be the same. Your not going to be the same. So, like, all of those things go out the window. That's when you have to sit there, put them on blocks, start running them through travel, measuring, looking at the gauges. That's what I mean. You say
all on the racer. All on the.
We know.
But so with that being said about all being on the racer,
Hold on. Go ahead,
I
Tommy.
think both of you bring up very good points. Josh is saying the complexity of the system, and Gary, your standpoint is that's on the racer. Right now, the current mindset in NPRC is the racers don't want any more headaches. I can tell you, I personally don't want any more headaches.
That's great. I mean,
And
no one's going to make someone do something they don't want to do. No one.
Yeah, that's
but
true
if
too.
it hurts, but if a rule change hurts the participation of the hobby, that rule change was a negative. I think we can all agree with that. If you lose racers, it's a negative.
Amen.
Most people feel the system that Exotech opens the door to. Josh is talking about where you're at versus where you'll wind up. That we're like it's the journey to hell. The road to hell was paved with good intentions.
That's true.
And I think with what Josh is talking about, with having to, if you have an accident, being able to get the car squared back up, get it mounted up to perform at the level to go run for $20,000, it's not going to be as easy. I mean, I just don't see where introducing, and I don't. Hey, I think if everybody wants to run it and there's a place to go run it, I encourage you to go run it. But I don't think most of the NPRC wants to.
Okay. Well, hold on. I got one question, and I'll let you go, Gary, and I'll let you go. We have a lot of people that are on both sides, and to be honest with you, like I said, I don't even know what the discussion is for. To be honest with you, because they made the rule was set. And now we got divided sandboxes, and we done went down every road there is to go down, and we need to reel it back in. Okay? If that's the situation, and if the bottom line is we think the car is faster, I believe Gary has a couple people with his car that are here at this race. Okay? That are here at this race, and most of everybody in the chat is saying, well, let's prove it. Let's get somebody to build one of these cars that supposedly know about this active suspension and let them race it. Doesn't matter where. Just somebody who knows what's going on, put the car together. And what's the current world record? 139, 138. I heard of a couple of 134s, but I haven't seen them. So
that's a tough number, man. That's a tough number. Those are done by guys that are fast. I don't think that we're going to see a 1-2. I don't think this. I disagree that you put it in somebody else's hands, like Josh is saying, and it's going to dominate and destroy. I disagree with that.
Okay.
What I do take offense, though, I do take offense to the fact that we are basically saying only a select few people can do it. I think that's offensive to the entire population of people that are watching this. I also take offense to the fact that we are intentionally misleading people. Josh knows better. He knows that this is a passive system, not active, but we keep using the word active because it scares people. How about we define what a passive system is? A passive system can only do what it is prescribed to do. An active system has the ability to do opposite. So, for instance, if you had active suspension and your wheel was moving up, and it would naturally move up, an active suspension would push it down. A passive system, if the system goes up, it can only go up. That is suspension geometry 101. Okay? A passive system can only do what you prescribe it to do. We know this because we do bump steer on every car that we have to work on. Okay? Every car that you work on, you adjust your ball studs so that you don't have a camber change. That camber change is passive. How many of your guys have you guys had to adjust your rear link so that your wheels don't do something funny when you go through your suspension? That is a passive change. It's natural. Okay? But we are not using these words. We're using words that scare people, and we're doing it intentionally.
It's nothing to do with the language, man. It's
It
got
is.
the way.
Then say it's passive, not active.
It's the way that the entire industry has labeled these. Again, if you knew the history of these systems and how they were labeled in the touring cars in the 2008 to 2012 range when all these came out, they were all classified as ARS. Active.
Well, I don't put labels on stuff. I don't. Maybe you do.
But this is what the industry came to know it as. And that's when I explained that it was a passive system, but that's what everybody has called it for 20 or 10 years as an active system. So it doesn't matter. It does the same thing. The rear toe changes through travel.
But it doesn't change outside of its prescribed geometry.
Correct. An active system technically has an electronic, hydraulic, whatever, servo.
Some control mechanism.
All right. Okay. Let's. I'm going. Yeah, we're gonna take 5.
Tomato.
Yeah, we're gonna put some videos up here. We're gonna let everybody calm down because, to be honest with you, I don't even know what we're fighting over anymore. It is. I'm not saying we fighting. Let me rephrase it. We're not fighting. We're having a discussion and
a healthy debate.
A very healthy debate, and which we don't need right now. So woosah. Okay, let's get back to something else. Let's talk about something else. We'll come back to this. Gary, thank you for being patient. I understand. Tommy, you too, and you too, Josh. Everybody, and including the staff. Everybody, let's just calm down. Let's talk about something else. All right, Gary. So what's going on at the race? First of all, I didn't even get to make it out there, so I need somebody to go out there and save me a spot because I can't be walking all the way from the end. So I'm gonna need somebody to come out there, save me and John Fowler a spot, so I can at least be up near the start line. Can anybody do that? Can somebody put some cones out for me?
I think we can do something.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking. Just get me a 12 by 12, and me and John will share a 10. All right. Yeah, you can get your choice of candy out the van, but don't lock the door because you won't get out.
Look, John drove the candy van down there.
He drove that son of a bitch all the way down here, scared all the kids. Look, he pulled up in the parking lot. The kids ran in the store because the back of the joint said free candy. I'm like, man, that dude is crazy. All right, listen. Okay, let's talk about this right here. All right. With all that being said and everything else, let's just talk about numbers. 2024. Do we think we will beat a 134?
Absolutely, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Faster than that. So what are we talking, Gary? I'll start with you. How fast are we talking?
I think here's the thing. I think that we've gone faster. Or, I don't want to say we. I think people in this community have found a way to go faster every year. And just when we thought we weren't going to go quicker. We keep going quicker. So I don't anticipate that changing. I think that the guys that are setting these 1.314s, okay, the 1.34s, the 1.33s, 1.38s, I think they're going to find it. Do I think that we're going to make a leap of a tenth? No. We're shaving hundreds here. And are we gonna see it? Absolutely, we're gonna see it. I have no doubt in my mind that somebody's gonna go faster.
Okay,
Because
cool.
they're gonna find a way because they're smart and they're innovative.
Anthony, faster than a 1.34.
Yes, the one thing I've noticed is the manufacturers are they've been in the foxhole making stuff stronger. So things that have limited people from going faster, that has been part failure. And the only other thing that limits you from that is traction. So traction isn't a problem for a lot of people. So I mean, if you're able to get the traction and you're not having parts failures such as out drives, drive shafts, and the infamous ESC, if you got all those things working for you, why wouldn't you be able to go faster?
I don't even know if we want to go faster. That's just me, but Tommy, go ahead.
It's going to be very track dependent and timing system dependent. A lot of people, just to be honest with you, you get out here, who's got a surveyed off track? So I tell people this, and I'm going to be called the asshole, but I'm going to pull the curtain back. Until you're spiked out, surveyed off, I don't care how fast you go. Only thing that matters, did you catch an L or did I catch an L when I get in the beams? Then 130, that's what's wrong right now with RC racing. We worried about a damn number instead of going out there and racing the guy and racing the track. I got to go be Facebook fast. You know what really matters about Facebook? When you see that dude like that guy up there in my right hand corner, Mr. Denny, holding them blue faces. That's what matters. Can somebody go faster than that this year? Yeah, sure. Here's the problem. It's going to have to be the exact right time, the exact right amount of glue. Because nobody's going to go run 129 on these stupid donkey butter for 30 foot because you're just burning shit up. You're over traction the first 30 foot, dude. So there's a certain witch that's like hunting the perfect time. Josh knows this, like rocket rounds in on road or dirt oval. There's 100%. There's a perfect time where you hit the magic everything and you lay it down. But those times are so far and few between. And so could it happen? Yeah. I don't think nobody truly runs a 125 or 126 this year. Somebody might creep into a low 30 or a 29, but man, if you go look wherever we've been that you can do it, because the first half of the racetrack overruns the back half. All the shit's laid down the first 30 foot, and there's nothing past 30 foot for a long time until the day. Then the front half of the racetrack's gotten so horrible, you're having to sell your soul and your kidneys to get out of it. So, so you robbing Peter to pay Paul. How many big races do you see the faster numbers in the first, like in round 2 and round 3, and then the track starts doing that right there?
Starts to nose over.
I mean, that is the pattern. Will it change in 2024? I highly doubt it, because we're just as stupid in 2024 as we're going to be as we were in 2023. So it'll be, hey, I want somebody to go 1-1, but it's something's got to change with motor and ESC for that to happen. You have to have, and Josh would agree, and I think Gary would too. You need more 66 foot to 132 foot horsepower.
It's 33, 33 and 66. Yeah.
Yep.
You've got to have more back half power, because the cars are running. If you think about it, how fast the car's running up front, in order to continue to pull that G load all the way out the back, you need more horsepower.
Damn. Yep. All right, Johnny.
I hope I'm there to see it, but it won't be done by me, because I can't afford to go that fast. When you start going that fast, you're putting in a lot of money.
Well, they say every 10th's worth $1,000, right? Once you get that fast.
Yeah, I don't know how much it is, but it's way more than I got in my pocket.
It's way more than my soul can handle.
I'm gonna stick to my slow times, and I'll just go and have fun.
If I go 3 rounds, I won, baby. Brian, let's talk to the magic dude up top anyway. He had a stellar season. You know, he put together some stuff, guys. He came out of nowhere, and dude is awesome. He's a good dude. I like him. Brian, what do you think? I mean, personally, Brian, what are you going to hit this year?
I don't look at, I used to set goals, but right now, all I want to do is we all put up, and we've all seen it. And I'm kind of piggybacking a little bit off what Tommy just said. We've all seen people post their GNSS times and their times. I don't do that. I just say, okay, I'm gonna go out and race the surface, because wherever we go that day, we're all gonna be on the same track. And if you notice, the guys that post all those fast times that day when we met at these other tracks, they're not quite hitting that number, because guess what? We don't know what the surface is going to be today. So all I need to do is try to be consistent and read the track and make the proper adjustments and let the chips fall where they may, and may the best man win. That's just my take.
Okay. That's spoken like a true champion. That's what I'm saying. And just to let you know, Brian, I have received threats that they coming after you. So I just want to let you know that, some of these guys with initials on their shirt in red, white, and blue say they coming to get your ass. Okay. Just want you to understand that. You got to hold it down, baby. Hold it down. Okay. All right. So something we've been talking about for a while, long time, the prep issue. Or even if it's an issue. Some people can get out, some people can't. Tommy has given a lot of people a solution. Now, I'm asking, has anyone besides Tommy tried it? Even if you're online with us, has anyone dragged the starting line to move some of that stuff back? I'm gonna call it what it is, shit. Has anyone dragged it to move some of that shit to the back? Has anybody else tried that? I need some thumbs up. I need something. And then, Gary, I'm going to come out and ask you. I'm sorry. What was that, Anthony?
No, I was going to say we kind of did it at Punk when some of the guys started running spunk, and we just rolled the line and pulled it up, and the track stayed the same, actually. We just had to do it right away after they ran.
Really? When was this?
Whenever Zubak's race was.
I was not aware.
About what, midsummer, Josh?
No, it was in the fall, September sometime.
Okay.
Out there, Rick was out there, Zuby and a bunch of the guys. Anthony Del Grosso came up, Chris Haynes. There was a bunch of fast guys running.
Okay, so
when Frank posted 129 pass, but I think it was a little off on the timing system.
Okay, well, hey. So do you guys have like just a regular tire? Did y'all make a tool? Because
we just ran out there, when we saw, a couple guys do some spunk hits, and we were worried about it messing up the track for everybody, because everybody kind of agreed not to run it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But a few passes were made with it, and we just cleaned a set of tires. Rick grabbed one, I grabbed another. We rolled it through the groove. Sprayed the tires down, wiped them off, and it pulled it all right back up. And the next passes, I mean, we ran literally identical what we did, in the round before. So it was all good. So it does work.
Okay, awesome. Now, Tommy, didn't you have a device or something that you made for that?
So
at one point?
No, I took a dry red voodoo and just rolled it back. There's a lot of people there's some people coming up with some stuff. And some of the bigger races are talking about having the racer's option. If he wants to, if you go up there the line and you look and it's just horrible, you can roll your line. Like Josh said, it doesn't slow you down.
No.
So I think if most people don't want to go the prep route, okay, I understand that everybody's got a prep sponsor. It's one of those deals that if we're going to run open prep, we have to figure out a way to control the prep. And I think, Josh has done it. Frank's done it. I've done it. Some of the guys in Tennessee have done it. And the feedback has all been the same. Like, hey, we didn't slow down and it made the racing better. So I think there's going to have to be like some people think about if that's what they want to do. But yes, I want to take a 800 Maxxis go-kart tire, put it on a stick, just roll it and be done with it.
You know what? Somebody down here said that. I was about to say, somebody said get a real go-kart tire, clean it, and roll it with that.
Yes, sir.
I just went and cleaned out one of my storage units, and I've got a 4-wheeler drag tire. I don't know if I can get that thing onto something, but it may work for what we need it for. It's wide enough to fit both tread patterns.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So now everybody's calm. Everybody has woosah. Let me see. There's a couple of things online. Brian says a rolling squeegee will work. Okay. Spec is money. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
JFib said it didn't work on concrete. Can anybody confirm that? Has anybody else?
Well, so the problem with concrete is this. Concrete doesn't have anywhere for the prep to go when you roll it down. Concrete is pretty much a sealed surface. The thought that's why it doesn't work. When you do it on asphalt, you can push it down below the texture of the surface. If you'll notice, look at the Toys for Tots race on fresh asphalt, how bad it got. The reason, it was brand new and sealed on top. The prep couldn't run and disperse.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of the thought on it. It's not the most perfect way to do it. I'm hoping that everybody is thinking, hey, X, Y, Z, what are we going to do? Somebody will come up with something, hopefully better than what I got, because I just want to keep doing it.
Well, I will tell you, Anthony came up with something. He took a couple of things of Gorilla Tape, pulled it out, stuck it on there, and yanked it up. It came up, and then he rolled it.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, he
We've done that with slot car tires.
So I used I don't have it in here. I've got a real wide roll of Gorilla Tape. It's about maybe 4 or 5 inches wide. And I just covered our groove up with that.
Okay, we gotta give a little credit where credit's due.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where'd you get that idea from?
Oh, wait a minute. Did he get it from you? Because I swore it came from him.
No, Luke and we were doing it at Luke's. We tried it at Luke's and it worked today, and we shared that. Did we not share that with you, Anthony?
I think
I'll tell you that I did not know that. I really didn't.
Yeah,
me and John Fowler were out at the track, and I told him I was thinking about doing it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. I think Lucas got it from him though. I'm not sure, so I don't want Lucas to come on here and try to choke me neither.
I saw it. It does work.
Yeah, good. I mean, it pulled it up in chunks. It works
really good.
Yeah. So shout out to Anthony. If y'all heard that, he just had the black Gorilla Tape, the wide one, and I think it was 2 pieces per lane. And he went out.
It's amazing how much when they put it down and then pulled it up, it was amazing how much glue
came up.
Was
now
stuck on the bottom of that tape.
Like I said, it's like a Brazilian wax.
I'll tell you what. That's actually where I got the idea from. What I was talking about I was talking to my wife about waxing and nothing crazy, but about waxing, and I was like, you know what? That might get the damn prep off. So I got to give her credit for it.
Okay, yeah, he laid it down and ripped it off, so it worked. You guys check it out now. All right, what else can we talk about? Because we only got like 20 minutes. So I'm gonna open up the floor to the guests to pick a topic. Anyone of you. Come on, Gary. Come on.
Well, I obviously prep is a hot topic, and the issue of prep is a hot topic. I'm not really sure what the answer is, but I definitely think that that's something that needs a lot of attention, because we're pretty much at the point now where the track is prepped, right? I mean, even though it may not start out that way, that's just where we are, So what is what is the better answer? I don't know. You know, is it better to just control the surface with, you know, with what they spray down? I don't know. You know, maybe limit how much you can put on. But this is a very, I think out of actually everything we've talked about tonight, this is probably the most topic. This is probably the most important topic that needs to be addressed, because it is by far the thing that is moving, you know, people's performance one way or the other way, and attendance. I mean, let's face it, guys. If we really want to get to the root of, you know, an attendance problem, I think a lot of people are divided on prep. I don't think it ever is going to go away. I don't think it should go away. But I think that there has to be some reasonable solution to, you know, maintaining the surface, right? Because, you know, to everyone's point, it's the surface that is just getting to be terrible, right? And where we're at with that is it's becoming a problem that is the next competitor's problem. You know, so we have these events where a lot of people show up, and, you know, it increasingly becomes a problem for the guy at the back of the line.
Yeah,
you know?
or later in the runs. So
exactly.
With that being said, though, which is a great point, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I want to hear what where did Gary go? I mean, Gary's there. Where did Josh go?
Josh
left us. All right. So let's talk about this timing real quick. New rules came out. There he is. He came back.
Yeah.
And they added dry tire to the NPRC. What are your thoughts on that?
So for the people that want to run dry tire and people that hold these big events, they'll be able to come participate in Dry Tire Outlaw or Real Street. So there's two rule sets there. I know there's like some Real Streets called different things with tweaks and around the country, so it's fine. To me, you know, Mark Vine and me had a great conversation in Straight Line about Real Street. How there's a lot of people that don't agree with banning people from running it. But me and Mark actually talked about it. There's a way to do it. You know, I would do, if there's 50 people sign up, quick 16 run for big money. Everybody else runs for a smaller pot. That way, sponsored drivers and big groups and stuff like that don't run over that class. I mean, because, dude, it can happen. I mean, I'm not arrogant to the fact that, you know, I went to the finals against my own sponsor, Dustin. I mean, and Mark said, man, y'all must have. I said, no, I put 10 hits on this thing, put it in the trailer, and come on up here. That's it. I pulled out my old notes. I had all my old notes when I was running shitty reactions and put voodoos on and was hammering down. So it is what it is. And then you had Sanchez. Sanchez was running good on Josh's tire, and you had I can't remember the guy's name. Was I think Gary knows him. He was like from Shady Side. That guy was running good. So it's what do you want to do? If Dry Tire Outlaw gets more people to the racetrack, so be it. You're going to have people that want to run prep, people that don't care. So you're offering. This is something we have lacked. Before now, it's just been either you jump in the deep end or you don't. Now you can run Real Street, you can run Dry Tire Outlaw, or you can run Prep Tire Outlaw. So it's giving people, you know, levels to decide what they want to do from an involvement standpoint. I think that's something that we've desperately needed.
I do too. I do too. But here's my thing, and I'm just gonna give y'all the information. That's gonna be hard to run dry tire at a regular SE event. I don't see you being able to run both of them together.
You can.
You can or you can't?
You can. The dry tire guy's going to try as quick as he can to get to the glue. So either you run dry tire on Friday, and then Saturday, then the people that run prep tire are going to be pissed because they didn't get to practice on Friday. So you run into all kind of problems. It can work. It just depends on how you want it to work. Do you want to turn it into a 4-day race?
Or then Tommy, reverse it. Run the other way. Run from, that way you don't run into prep. I've heard people saying that, they could do that as well.
James.
That is a lot of work from a track setup, though.
Yeah.
From a track standpoint to reverse the track.
So you'll find out what people think by what they support this year. Just pay attention. Every year you get to see what direction, whether it be on a manufacturer, whether it be a rule set or whatever, that people are going to support. You'll see it this year, just like we have every other year. There's been classes that never took off in NPRC, and there's been classes that were really good in NPRC. So we'll figure out the temperature of the room. You got to be good at taking the temperature of the room. So it'll work. I think there's good rule sets, and I tell everybody that's watching this, we're very passionate. All of us, we might have a difference of opinion, and we have a difference of belief, but we're really passionate about this because we don't want to see it go away. Number one, if somebody wants to run no prep drag racing 10 years from now, it has a good enough, following that it's still there. Everybody forgets it blew up during COVID. Yes. People couldn't do stuff. People seen all this stuff on Facebook. Facebook was a hell of a promoter for no prep drag racing.
Kept my sanity. Okay. I can tell you that.
So, all right. So now, and I told Tim Smith this, and Josh is going to laugh when I say it. Oval racers will find a way to fuck this up. And even owners. 100%. And the reason being, if you give me the smallest little nugget and you say, this is all you got, we're going to squeeze every damn thing out of it we can. That's what the competitive on-road oval racers do. And that kind of, honestly, when it was more people that were new to the sport and we were running 2 1s and 2 2s, you're seeing way more people. Then as you go to 2 flat, 190, 180, 170, 160, 150, all of a sudden it does become a job to do this. It's a second job. You come home. Well, if you win like Brian, it pays. Brian got paid this week. Tattoo.
I'm sorry. Yep. Tattoo gets it all, baby.
And we've seen it. So I think just everybody knows, I support the people that want to run dry tire. You know why? Because if you hang around long enough, you might want to do what I like. And if I hang around long enough, I might say, well, let me go give that a try. People that are intelligent enough to know that sometimes your opinion will change over time, don't ever say never. That will bite you in the ass.
Absolutely.
So I think it's going to be good this year.
Okay. Right, real quick, Mike Honcho, can we use products like Dry Rub and Invigorator and WAP? From my understanding, you can. It just depends. You got to ask your race director. Now, according to the rules.
Careful, Drew.
Hold on.
Yeah, according to the rules, you cannot.
That's what I was going to say. According to the rules, but it was a gray area. According to the rules, you cannot put that on your tire for their dry tire racing. But they also said it will be up to your race director. Okay.
There's no gray, Drew.
Yeah. If you're asking for a translation, I'm gonna give you the translation that you're looking for. If you go to an NPRC race, don't put shit on your tires. If you're going somewhere that you're racing at home and they allow it, help yourself. That is how the translation works.
The guy from Shady Side, Bluff, Gary might know, is Zach.
Zach.
He showed a gauge.
Yes, sir.
He showed a gauge that I don't know if they're using them. I don't know if that gauge is going to be used at your race, if you're down there at Gary's race, Drew, or not. But he talked about that. Racers are going to be racers. If you go, all I can tell you is clean your tire with an appropriate cleaner. Whatever that cleaner is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man,
man, you're not.
I almost got busted for an Okeechobee.
tire looked too damn shiny, bro.
Oh,
Oh, don't y'all start that again.
don't start that shit.
Okay.
Man had
No
armor on them
conditioners
tires.
at all. Somebody said make index racing great again. That sounds sexier than a rooster with socks. Boy,
Somebody
oh boy,
stealing
Tommy.
my line. Who put that on there?
You know your boy Chris
Gilliland,
Hey,
Yeah, he did because I told him about. Oh man, Gillian.
the fireman.
Yep.
if-
You know
and
he's
you
got his own
start-
calendar, right?
you started that book yet?
Yeah,
Man,
Tommy,
I
we
had
need that book.
see.
We need
I
that book,
think-
bro.
I think that the dry tire deal is going to be fun to watch this weekend.
Yeah, it is. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Me and John Fowler, we here for it, buddy.
I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be neat.
Yeah.
See what's gonna come out of it.
I want to see some 1.8s. I tell you, I want to see some 1.8s. Josh, you looking at me like it's my turn.
Yeah,
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm just listening.
No thoughts on it. I heard you speak on the real street. No, nothing about the SE
You
person.
can send it but prep.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I was one of the guys that really thought like the spec prep would be really good. And then we ran Frank's race with it and I changed my mind. And the biggest thing is, you know, everybody kind of gets in their routines and their methodology of stuff. And when you're having to go to tech and not able to either use heat guns in the way you want to, or being up there, you know, whatever. You know, I seen a few guys that ran some really, really great hits, and then went up the next round. And, you know, it's nothing like, I don't think anything done intentional, but, you know, the round before they went up there, I just made a comment, you know, like, hey, you know, the bottle that you took out of, was it pretty low? And I said, yeah. And then, you know, got up there and just happened to be, that was when the rotation time was or whatever, that they put out fresh bottles. So they're a little thinner, weren't open, you know, evapped off at all, whatever. And those guys went out and spun tires. So it just makes it one of those things to where at that point, you either have to then test and work to have a lot wider window for opportunity. I believe, you know, part of the fun of this is pushing everything to the limit. So for guys to go out there one run and blow the tires off in the next run and it's good, and you don't actually change anything, just whether or not you have a fresh bottle or not, when guys want to have their bottle that they know exactly what they're putting on and what they go, you know, every time. So that was the only thing that I saw, like with Frank's race there in Pontiac, that I seen some guys just being a little bit inconsistent with stuff and being a little bit lost on why. And that was where I kind of, okay, I get it from the on-road side, how we do it. It does work in that regard, but I don't think in the no prep world, it's quite as good as just open. Now, yeah, open's got its own issues with the you know, the donkey butter or whatever some of this crazy stuff is, you know. I don't like saying spunk anymore because Jeff gets all upset, you know, and I raced with Jeff for a long time. So, you know, not to blame his product in particular, but just the overall process of it all. So, you know, so I don't have a good answer for it. I mean, let's face it, I made tires. I spent a lot of time and money and work trying to make better tires. So it was one of those things to where I you know, whatever works for the racers, whatever they want to do. You know, and honestly, that's why I did champion the dry tire outlaw stuff. I know that a lot of guys wanted to use their outlaw stuff and run dry tire, you know, so that's why I said, you know, instead of trying to fight a battle between two sides for, you know, the real street rules, you know, that's, I just kind of, you know, every time we kind of were arguing about it, and I would just put dry tire outlaw. That was just kind of my only comment in the chat. And I think everybody kind of agreed that, yeah, it did kind of make sense. And, you know, over the course of the year, yeah, we'll see which prevails. And, you know, if it ends up being a good class for people to progress from box stock and that type of thing into. But, you know, again, there's a lot of stuff like this. Like, I don't look at my opinion as much, or Frank's, or even Tommy, or some of the top, you know, Brian, you know, any of the top fast guys. I don't worry about as much. I want to know what all the other racers want.
Yeah, let's put them in there.
That's the most important people because that's the majority of the market. So, and those are the people we want to keep racing all the time. So, it's our responsibility with the experience to try and keep it, to where they want to come back. They want to have fun. So,
Yes.
Yep. Kelly, to answer your question, according to what the NPRC said, that is correct. No tire conditioner whatsoever. None.
They didn't word it that way.
It was you can't. They said completely dry tire, and then they said a burnout is required.
But you can have a completely dry tire with conditioner on the tire.
But I gotta pull it up. There is some verbiage in there that says that you can't use anything that changes it from the original stickiness or tackiness that it comes out of the package with.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about that. Well, if I clean my tire, it's gonna be a lot different. It's gonna feel different than what it did when it came out the pack because they have to put whatever they put on it to get it inside of the pack.
So you can't condition it during the week. You can't do anything in that respect. So if you do that, then that's why we went to prep in the first place, because it was too hard to police.
You can't police it. It's impossible.
Well, we're gonna see this weekend. The guys from Shady Side got their device, and we're gonna use it on a couple of sets of tires.
They have the tension meter.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have it there.
I just got one a couple of days ago to start playing with.
Yep. So, according to Zach, who actually found it, I think he said between 13 and 15 will be the numbers that they're going to use at their race. Well,
pretty sticky.
Right. I think he said one coat of prep pulled 32 or better. He said it took the limit. One coat of prep. He said one coat of WAP was like between 13 and 15.
Okay.
One coat, and I think he was using a Voodoo and the Dragworks. I think, I'm not sure, because they said they went back and said it may change based on the tire that you use it. One coat of WAP, one coat of dry rub were 13 to 15, and a tire that they had put prep on and then cleaned it off with naphtha pulled the same thing between 13 and 15. So according to him, because I've talked to him, what they're going to do is you do whatever you want to your tires, but if it pulls outside of that 13 to 15 range, you DQ.
That's a good way of doing it.
You take your own shot. If you're between 13 and 15, you good. If you put something on your tire and it pulls over that, then you're done.
So this gauge,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you played with it, Josh. Are we saying it's
I took
consistent?
it out of the package and played with it some.
Okay, so is it consistent? Can we rely on this?
That's what we're looking at this weekend. Now, during the test that he had conducted, it pulled the same. And it pulled between 13 and 15 based on how well you clean your tire after or with the conditioner that you put on it. Yeah,
the only thing I need to play with it that I wanted to see was if the like the crown of our tire, narrow wheel, wide wheel, foam, whatever, if that's going to aid in any sort of reliefs because of the crown versus the the plunger or whatever you want to call it that's on the end of that meter. So that's the reason why I ordered one right away, just to see, okay, because then you can tell at a race if somebody's running a harder insert in what should be a lower grip class, but all of a sudden passing the meter and killing everybody. It kind of gives you an inkling on what's going on there. So that's going to be the one difficult thing, like RJ's saying right now, there's going to have to be a percentage because it's not like those meters that at least from what I can tell, are certified and super consistent, because the numbers that you're telling me is actually numbers different that I had gotten from somebody else, and just playing with mine a little bit, it's a little bit off. So but percentage of what it is, I don't know.
And Josh, where we worked at, we use those and we call them pull test meters. And we constantly had to get those things calibrated to be consistent, because that way you knew the tackiness of the adhesive that was on the colostomy and ostomy bags that we made. So yeah, I mean, as long as there's some consistency there and they're considered calibrated. But yeah, that's my only concern is, you know, and the surface that you're running on could play a factor in it too.
Well, I mean, if you, and you know, we're not gonna go down this rabbit hole, but you know, but if you just clean your tire the same, like we have a process, that process is the same, yours should pull the same. And again, like you said, these things need to be calibrated. It's not like they had to think of everything, but they did try to give us some sort of solution for it, because without it, it's a huge gray area. So you know, me, I'm cool with it. I mean, whatever it takes. But like I said, you know, guys are going to play with it, and we're going to use it down here, and we'll see what happens. All right.
Yep.
We are at the two. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One more thing, I saw Elkins talking about tire sniffers. IFMAR tried using tire sniffers because a lot of guys were cheating with tire conditioners or additive in the A-scale nitro world. We went to a bunch of world championships that, you know, they were trying to use those things. Unless you get the, like, every single conditioner formulation like added to the tire sniffer, there are still things like you can pass. Like, for example, we went to the Worlds in Miami, and they busted out the sniffer, and they're like, we can catch anything. And Paul Lemieux, you know, from Motive RC, and myself were laughing because we had just come from an electric race, so we had a bunch of different, you know, tire preps or conditioners or whatever with us. We did a couple different tires and walked up there like, okay, check this one. Oh, that passes. You know, we had like 3 different ones that passed those right away. So the problem is with like the tire sniffers is they have to be calibrated with the chemical that you're looking for, and then they'll be like, okay, there, that one's there. But if you don't know and it's not registered in the sniffer to be able to find that's when you have issues with those not being effective. So, and what works on RC tires, you know, you can actually get away with a lot of other stuff that's those sniffers won't naturally pick up from big car tires. So,
got you.
Like SXT is actually really good for not being.
It kind of makes it a nightmare to tech too.
Yes.
Well, with the pull thing, you just stick it on your tire, and you know, like you said, it's got to be calibrated or whatever. We're not saying it's a solution to everything, but it's a start. But guys,
Drew, you know, Drew, I don't know if you realize this, but we're sitting there having this conversation, and
they got a whole nother argument on the other side.
Going on one another. I'm just laughing. They're going on.
Oh, it's like it's awesome. Trying to read the comments, look at the phone, read the.
I'm saying, dog, it's crazy.
Yep.
Chris, they getting into it about spec prep. I tell you what, boy.
Chris Gilliland pissed some people off.
They don't went in on about 6 or 7 different topics.
Yeah, man. It's a race. It's a race. Somebody want to race at SoFlo for 500. It's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Jay Joseph said he gonna beat everybody. Everybody this year gonna get beat. I'm like, damn. Hey, I think he included his own team in that. I'm gonna whoop all y'all ass. I'm like, God.
Chris looks like Chris.
Hey, me and Jay, man, I love him to death. That man talk more shit than Christmas turkey.
Yeah, he does. Hey, Tommy, I'm just gonna let you know, dog. I need to get in that Call of Duty circle, okay? Not this weekend. I'll send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you. I need to get in that circle, bro. I play
Dustin had a big like, you know, hey, if you want to play XYZ game of the day, you want to talk about, you could talk so much shit in there. Oh my God, it was hilarious.
Yeah. I need to get in there. There.
There wasn't no prep, no active toe, none of that bullshit in there. We just straight split wigs.
Just splitting wigs, yep.
Splitting wigs.
To try the beer tonight.
Yeah, me and RJ Dittmer went out to dinner tonight. Me, him, and Lucas, and we just kind of caught up, did a little chatting. Him and Lucas was drinking some beer, but they know I don't drink, so they wanted me to try, and I wouldn't. So yeah,
you like the mules.
I do like the mules, but I did not very seldom, you know, here and there. I don't.
Yeah, he
go to dinner. I'm starving.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd you guys Where'd you guys go to dinner? I'm starving. I gotta leave the track.
We went to a place called Fish and Pig.
No, that was in Waynesboro.
Up here, Gary. I don't know where the track is compared to where we are, but right up
Called
here
Waffle
you got
House.
Applebee's, Waffle House.
Oh, I love my Waffle House. Okay.
Yeah, it's one right up here on the corner. So I don't know where the track is compared to it, but if you're going up the hill, that's the best I can tell you. Going up the hill, it's on the right.
All right. Yeah,
Waffle House. Yeah. Hey, don't forget to throw me some cones down there, Gary. Okay, I need a pit space big enough for me and my boy, man, because I don't want him. He painted me a fresh body while we was in here arguing, and he was going off too. Y'all had everybody going off, man. This was awesome. But look,
that's the way we roll, bro.
I hear you.
Hey, look. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think it's kind of it's good to mix things up a little bit, right? Let's let's get attention. None of us are low battery. How about that, man? We really are mixing shit up.
Yeah, we are.
But hey, look, man, we put on a good show. I think a little bit of roughhousing is always a little fun, and I'm all for that. But look, guys, this is my last thing. I'm gonna say I want everyone to race together, and I'm just realist about where we are with things. I think every time we say we're going to be putting a cap, and we don't, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just more realistic about that. I don't know. So at the end of the day, let's just have fun, go racing, and talk shit, and have a beer.
Yeah, I'm going to talk shit after I bust your ass this weekend. I'm going to go have a beer with you. How about that?
All right. I'll take you up on that.
That's right. Hey, look, I didn't come down here to race nobody. I came to race you and that Nick Schneider dude with all that mouth talking about I might not have room in my suitcase to pack up my trophies.
I tell you what, that race needs to be televised.
Nick and I just had a quick grudge race actually a little bit ago.
Oh, did you? Who won that? You don't want to say?
Well, I can say I don't know if anyone else is going to be happy about it, but yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Nick comment tonight, so I can pretty much guess who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have told me that earlier. Hold on, let me get on the phone though.
But listen, in all fairness, Nick is a hell of a competitor. That guy is just, incredible. I was happy to have a grudge race with him. I was also happy to come out ahead, but
what?
Hold on. I think tomorrow.
If you just say you beat him. Don't try to smooth it over. It's okay.
Gary, just say what you did.
Yeah, Gary. Don't look. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him right now.
Me too.
Ask him. We had a little race.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here, but Nick he not gonna hear the end of this shit. He better answer me too. He probably ain't gonna answer me. Tommy, any last words, sir? Any last words?
Yes, sir. No matter which side you pick or what you think, go race in 2024.
Absolutely.
Josh, hey Tommy, can we get it? I was gonna ask Tommy, can we get a saying from him for tonight, man?
He's right. He didn't give us one.
You got a few votes for president, Tommy, tonight on here.
I gotta say this. So I'm gonna give you a saying, but it's not one of them good old country bumpkin sayings. I'm gonna give you a saying to think about for NPRC. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're from.
Nah, I like the tater smasher.
I can't. I gotta be better, man. I gotta be better. I'm too hard on people.
Well, that was the greatest comment. If you go get on Facebook and run your tater smasher, I said, God.
I have the perfect skit for that too. I wanted to make a video with that intro of me sitting here watching Tommy's thing. I had a whole bit planned out. I was going to go to Walmart and get a bunch of tater mashers, make a wheelie bar out of it, and then take a video throwing sparks down the street. Tater masher. I was going to do a whole thing, tires, the whole 9 yards. If I could have had time, it would have been the most epic thing ever. I was rolling laughing. I had it all in my head.
He come up with the greatest sayings. I forgot the other one though. It was another one that was killer too.
Drew, I almost said hate mail the other week when he was on.
Huh?
I almost sent him hate mail after the show.
Well, what I do?
Tom,
Man,
Hey.
yeah.
I went up, got
Abigail.
up, the show ended, went up, got in bed, and the wife was still up. I'm like, what are you still done up? She goes, man, I tell you what, she goes, that Tommy guy had me rolling in bed. I was mad.
Hey,
Hey,
You know, I
Abigail.
was like, oh, okay.
Listen. Put
I
fans
tell
in
you,
stands and Chevys in driveways, baby. It's all the same.
See what I'm saying?
well, hey, damn, the whole licking the red off my apple. That one was.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You
That's a
ain't gonna
good
come over
one.
here and lick the
This
red
ain't
off my
hey
apple.
guys. This ain't my first time. You're not gonna get this cherry right here. It's just I've been around too many, man. I've been around a few goat ropings and circuses. It's all the same.
Hey, thanks, Aaron.
Abigail, it's okay. He didn't respond to me.
Thank
He
you,
did
Aaron.
not respond to me.
Nor me. So
Tommy, I don't know. If you look at Aaron Steele's comment, I guess that means I'm vice president.
Yeah, he did.
Man, listen. I don't know what we're about to damn be the head of, but it's gonna be dangerous, whatever it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, damn.
Okay. Gary, any did I hit Gary already? Did I get Gary his chance?
Yep.
Okay.
You got all three of us.
Okay.
What
So
about you, Drew? What you gonna tell us?
I'm gonna pass the buck to my man Anthony first.
Well, I appreciate you gentlemen coming on here. I think we got some good, healthy conversation. We got some point of views out there, and I think we're all a little bit smarter from it.
All right. And then I'm gonna go up to Gator, who was on that. Oh shit! Go ahead, Gator.
oh no, I appreciate you guys coming on. It was fun. It was definitely different from what we normally do. We got the faithful over here commenting more than I think I've ever seen that thing run. And there's definitely differences of opinion, and I think that's healthy. And I think you guys are very knowledgeable about the products that you represent and that you race on a weekly basis and daily basis. So I definitely appreciate you guys.
All right, my man Brian.
Yeah, it's first of all, appreciate you guys coming on and spending your time with us and sharing with racers alike across the community that we can have healthy, mature debates. And I know sometimes they get a little out of hand, but like you said, like Gary said, it makes it kind of fun. And even though we have NPRC, we have RCHRA, I think I got it right.
RCHRA, that's correct. Yes, sir.
And I think even though we have two different ones, to Tommy's point, it's okay. It comes down to it's not what we race, is that we race, and we all got something that we can take our cars and go race with and have fun. And let's do this 2024.
Absolutely. Same thing. Appreciate you guys coming on. I got to get to bed, man. I got to try to get me some W's tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
I need breakfast. Good night. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in with us. That's the show for tonight. All right.
Good, brother.
All right.
Later, guys.
Peace out.
See ya.
Good night, everyone.
Good luck this weekend,
Good
everybody.
night.